Lieutenant Commander Sarah Viper Martinez checked her instruments as her FA-18 Super Hornet rolled onto the catapult of the USS Ronald Reagan while the radio crackled with barely concealed mockery from the Air Traffic Control Center. "There goes Princess," Major Tom Bradley's voice carried over the comm system. "Let's see if she can handle a real combat mission without calling for backup every 5 minutes." The other pilots in Strike Fighter Squadron 27 had been making jokes about her combat abilities for 6 months, ever since she'd become the first woman assigned to the elite 27th Fighter Squadron. They called her Cockpit Barbie and the diversity hire, believing that her presence was purely political rather than earned through skill. What they didn't know was that Sarah had been deliberately holding back during training exercises, following secret orders from higher command to avoid revealing her true capabilities. But today, facing a real mission with 8 enemy fighters approaching American airspace, those same colleagues were about to discover why the Navy had broken every protocol to get her into that cockpit. Sarah Elena Martinez had grown up on a ranch outside Dallas. She came from an ordinary family with no military tradition. But at age 12, when she visited the Dallas Aviation Museum, her life changed. The moment she saw those vintage fighter aircraft, something ignited inside her. She joined the Navy ROTC program and showed extraordinary aptitude in pilot training. She understood aircraft mechanics with almost supernatural intuition, grasped complex flight physics on first exposure, and made split-second decisions under extreme pressure. During one training exercise, she experienced triple system failure in a T-45 Goshawk. Hydraulics, electrical, and navigation all crashed simultaneously. Sarah not only completed the mission, but landed safely using manual controls. "I've been flying for 20 years, and I've never seen situational awareness like that," her instructor reported. In FA-18 Super Hornet training, she excelled as well. Her instructors began using her as an example for other students. During one exercise, she successfully managed 15 different threats while coordinating with AWACS controllers and ground forces simultaneously. "Martinez understands this aircraft better than pilots with 5 years of experience," said the training commander. "She's not just flying the jet, she's thinking with it." From her first day at the 27th Squadron, Sarah encountered resistance. The all-male squadron's informal culture viewed women as threats. "Martinez, I don't know what political pressure got you assigned here, but we can't afford to babysit diversity projects," said Major Bradley. Captain Stevens was more direct. "Women don't have the physical strength or emotional stability for air-to-air combat. You're going to get someone killed when the shooting starts." Sarah listened to these assessments with calm professionalism, but what she didn't know was that her assignment was part of a classified program. Colonel Blake had given her a special mission. "For operational security reasons, I need you to maintain average performance during training exercises. Don't reveal your true capabilities, because we're not just testing your flying abilities. We're evaluating how this unit integrates with enhanced pilot capabilities under real-world conditions." For 6 months, Sarah followed those orders. She deliberately flew at competent but unexceptional levels. She missed targets by narrow margins, reinforcing her squadron mates' assumptions. It was psychologically exhausting. Every day she endured comments about her performance while knowing her true abilities. Bradley used her as an example in briefings. "See how Martinez handles that intercept. Adequate technique, but notice how she's always half a second behind the timing. That's the difference between men and women in high-performance aircraft." Stevens was more direct. Martinez is okay for basic flying, but in real air-to-air combat, that half-second delay is going to get people killed. Sarah's patience reached its limits, constantly having to hide her abilities while enduring professional disrespect became a heavier burden than she'd anticipated. That day came. Sarah was in the squadron briefing room when the base alarm system activated with the distinctive tone indicating actual combat alert rather than exercises. "All pilots report to stations immediately," came the announcement. "This is not a drill." Colonel Blake explained the situation. "We have 8 unidentified aircraft in the Pacific approaching American airspace at high speed. They've ignored all communication attempts. Bradley made pilot assignments. Martinez will provide rear support. This is real combat, not training." But Blake intervened. "Negative. Martinez takes the primary intercept." Bradley couldn't believe it. "Sir, Martinez isn't ready." "Bradley, you have your orders." 30 minutes later, Sarah was strapped into her FA-18, going through pre-flight checks while her squadron mates expressed concerns over the radio. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" Stevens asked. Sarah responded calmly, "Let's go defend American airspace." After takeoff, Sarah felt the certainty that she was about to transform 6 months of suppressed capability into the most devastating air combat display in history. At 25,000 feet, she activated the FA-18's advanced systems, radar for simultaneous multi-target tracking, data fusion capabilities, integrated weapon systems, all under Sarah's expert control. "Viper, this is AWACS. We have 8 bandits at your 2 o'clock, 120 miles out." Sarah analyzed the enemy formation, precise spacing, and coordination indicating military training. Stevens worried. "I'm not getting clear radar contacts on these guys." Sarah smiled. "I have clear contacts on all 8 bandits." Soviet-era tactics, but with modern electronic warfare. At 30 miles range, the enemy aircraft took aggressive posture. "Viper, engaging now," Sarah said. Sarah activated her FA-18's full combat systems. The aircraft transformed from an advanced jet into something that seemed to violate the laws of physics. Fox 3, her first AIM-120 missile, streaked toward target at Mach 4. "Splash 1, she reported calmly, already maneuvering for her second shot. Fox 3, 2 more missiles away. The enemy pilots were executing experienced defensive tactics, but Sarah wasn't using conventional tactics. Splash 2, Splash 3. Stevens in amazement. "Jesus, Viper! How are you hitting them so fast?" Sarah continued without answering. Fox 3, Fox 3, Fox 3. Enemy formation had dissolved. Individual pilots in emergency maneuvers. Splash 4, Splash 5, Splash 6. Parker confused. "How are you engaging this many targets?" Sarah methodically hunted the remaining 2 targets. Fox 3. Fox 3 inches. Splash 7, Splash 8. All bandits eliminated. American airspace is secure. The radio frequency fell silent. 8 enemy aircraft in 3 minutes, 15 seconds by a single pilot with seemingly impossible performance. "How did you do that?" Stevens asked during the return flight. For the first time in 6 months, Sarah used her real voice. "I was doing this before I got here. Today was just the first time anyone let me show it." When they landed, the entire base personnel was waiting. Blake approached with pride and awe. "Martinez, that was the most devastating display of air combat effectiveness in military aviation history." The mission debrief lasted 4 hours. Video footage showed performance that analysts called impossible. Bradley, who had questioned her basic competence for 6 months, stared in stunned silence. "I owe you an apology." "I was wrong." Stevens with humility. "When you were missing targets by inches in training, I thought you were incompetent." Now I realize you were probably bored. Parker, more direct. You let us treat you like garbage for 6 months. Why did you put up with it? Sarah looked at the three men. Because sometimes you have to let people underestimate you until the moment when their lives depend on your capabilities. Today, American airspace was threatened. My job wasn't to prove I belonged here, it was to eliminate that threat. 2 weeks later, Sarah received the Distinguished Flying Cross promotion to major and assignment as the Navy's lead instructor for advanced air superiority tactics. But most importantly, she received what she'd been waiting 6 months for, the professional respect of colleagues who recognized her abilities. What happened that day over Alaska became legend in military aviation communities. The woman they'd called Cockpit Barbie had redefined what was possible when advanced technology met exceptional human capability. Major Sarah Viper Martinez never again had to hide her abilities or endure questions about whether women belonged in fighter cockpits. She had answered those questions definitively with 8 perfect shots under impossible odds. The greatest victory wasn't the 8 enemy aircraft she eliminated in 3 minutes. It was the moment when her squadron mates understood that excellence doesn't depend on fitting traditional expectations. It depends on being ready when your country needs capabilities that conventional thinking says are impossible. For Sarah, that day over Alaska wasn't just about defending American airspace. It was about proving that the future belongs to people who can transcend the limitations that others accept as permanent. Sometimes the greatest weapon isn't the most advanced aircraft or the most sophisticated missile system. Sometimes it's just a pilot who's been waiting 6 months for permission to show the world what she can really do. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories like this.